Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be setting up my habit tracker for the month of April. Every month I set up a similar habit tracker, but this time I'm going to be doing something a little bit different in where I use 2 pages instead of 1, just to make more space for what I have in mind. And so the notebook that I'm using is the Leutram and Bullet Journal collaboration. It is the official bullet journal. Now, I don't use it as a bullet journal, at least for my personal needs, but I like the layout and the pages of this bullet journal, especially since I use fountain pens. I find that this book is very nice for fountain pens, so that's why I chose this bullet journal for my personal needs. So I mostly use this notebook for my daily journals as well as my habit tracking. I have the green Bujo in here, and it is in a nice leather sleeve that I got for my birthday from my brother. So thank you to my brother for giving me this. And so I'm matching it. This is the page spread that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using the Archer and Olive little ruler, and I'm going to use a 0.3 fine liner. And so what I like to do first is just from bottom to top write the days of the week, the days of the month, sorry. So I'll start 3. Now this does come with a sticker that has all these the number days and the days of the week, but I like to just handwrite it. It feels more authentic. All right, and now what I'll do is go ahead and the days of the week. So it starts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and then continue. Alright, so now I've set up the days of the week and the number of days. So I'm going to set up my habits across from here. So there's a couple habits that I want to track. One of them is, am I taking my medicine on time? I'm going to do a thing at AM and a PM now because I have to take one in the morning, one in the night. Before I just did like a general medicine, but sometimes I'll take my morning ones and forget my night ones and vice versa. So I'm going to keep track of both. Then I want to track my reading and writing and etc. So first let me do med AM, med PM, right? And I'd like to do like this. Then next I'm gonna do, I've read this day. Then there is just a catch-all term for gym, but that could mean anything. That could mean walking, hiking, dancing, whatever, as long as it did any exercise. But I just put gym because it's short. Then I have done journal, and in this journal it doesn't necessarily mean writing it in here. I do have a pocket journal, and so as long as I write in either of these, I count it as a win. Right, then meditate. This is the one that I often struggle with, but I do want to get back into being more mindful and learning how to be more present. And I have noticed that when I have been consistent with meditating, I am very makes me feel very peaceful. So meditate is one of them. Then I'm also going to put draw, because I like to draw. I link my Instagram, and that's where I post all my drawings, but I have been out of practice, in and out, and so I want to make it more consistent. So that's why I want to track it. And then the next couple ones, I'm going to write sleep and steps. So here I'm going to track the hours I've been sleeping and the number of steps I've been taking. And they are horizontal instead of vertical because I want to write down, you know, the actual amount without rounding, and you'll see why in this page. But this is for now what I want to keep track of. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make it a grid. And so what I do, I'll just use this. And I'll just do it very basic on camera, and then I'll cut to what it looks like after I've done a basic setup. But I find that, you know, I'm a lot more likely to be on top of my habits if I'm physically, you know, tracking them. Because obviously, you know, my phone and my watch, they'll track all these metrics, but there's too much crap on my phones I get distracted by, and it doesn't do me any good because it's like a passive thing, and so I'm just not gonna pay attention to it. And so and the reason why everything looks so awkwardly positioned is because I have a tripod right next to my seat, and so I can't comfortably draw this because my setup is very basic at the moment. So, you know, excuse the weird angles and stuff. And so now let me put a header there. And so that is my basic habit tracking setup. I'll, you know, obviously have individual lines across each day to differentiate, but for the, you know, concept, this is what you'll see. And, you know, if I want, I can have some thought of the day right here, but I've tried it, never stuck. So now on this page, what I like to do, and I got inspired from Peter McKinnon's video. He showed me this setup. He had it, you know, on one page, I believe, like, you know, it's here then here, but for me it was just a mess up. This is why now I'm separating them into two separate things. And so what I'll do is right here, similar to that one, I will right. And how it should work ideally is, again, write the days. So 30, 29, 28. Right, so x-axis is the number of days, and then I'll do my y-axis here. And so what I want to do is here is, you know, have a graph of the hours I've slept and also the number of steps I've taken. And so what I'm going to do is in increments of 2, go, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, you know, I'm gonna cap realistically, you know, 10,000 steps or 10 hours of sleep. That's what I'm gonna have my cap at. There have been days where I've slept like 14 hours and I've had like, you know, 20,000 steps, but those are the, you know, exceptions. And so what I realistically do, I'm gonna set it up like that. So, you know, and that's why I like to keep it this way, is because it's a little easy to match across the two categories. Because in sleep, you'll have, you know, either 2 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours sleep. But in steps, you'll be 6,000, 8,000. And so using different colors, I can differentiate, you know, what units I am looking at. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I did that right. Yeah. I messed that up. Damn it. All right. 3, 1, 2, 3. That's one. Okay. So ignore the mess. I'll probably tape something over it. But so if, say, on April 1st, I get 6 hours of sleep, a dot right here. But if I get like 8,000 steps, it'll be like another thing right here. And I'll just look across and see what my trend is. Now, there has been, I often get confused sometimes because, you know, when you say on April 1st, I got 4 hours of sleep. That's actually 2 nights, right? Like, I go to bed on March 31st and I wake up on April 1st and I get like 8 hours of sleep. Does that count for April 1st or does that count for March 31st? And so that's why I always get maybe messed up, and I've always messed up on my previous entries because I was always, you know, put either the previous night or the next night. So I'm just gonna, I think, follow whatever my Apple Watch says and be like, okay, on April 1st, I got this hours of sleep, even though it was technically last night's, but it's whatever, it's confusing. And so, you know, I'll have different colors for it. So for example, my blue, it will be my sleep, and then black will be steps. And so that is my setup for April, in which I hope to continue it on into more and more. And then last but not least, I have to write the month. So this will be April. And so how I filled this out is very simple. If I did it, I fill it in. If I didn't do it, I leave it blank. And I'll just look across and see, you know, how am I doing? And then the sleep and steps, I'll write them in, the actual values, and then plot them here. And so that is the basic spread setup. This is how I, you know, would like to do this moving forward. You know, this has always been consistent throughout. Whenever I've used it, you know, this portion right here, you know, I've been adding this part for the last month or two. And initially this will all be on one side of the page, where this will also be vertical. You know, so it'll be sleep and then steps. But I found that, you know, writing down the actual values was really hard. And so I've decided to just give me more space and spread it out. And there you have it. That is my monthly habit tracking spread. On this side, I have the day of the week. Then I have all of my habits right here, plus some metrics that I want to keep track of, like sleep and steps. And then on this side, I have lined up, again, the day of the month, and then the measurements, which I'll have to fix up later. But yeah, I have hoped you liked this video. If you have, you know, any other layouts that you use or have a different way of setting up, you know, comment down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.